Good evening, and we're live for all the football scores as they go through.
Number 6, Hodges. Number 7,
At 10 yards inside the Weston-super-Mare half, goes back to Richards. His ball forward's cut out. He looks to win the second ball, but
off at
Jake Lee does well to get it off him, and now into
the wonderful Marsh Lane, home of Weston-super-Mare.
Pick it up on the halfway line for Bar City. Now drives forward, plays it forward into Jarvis. Slightly heavy touch, but manages to keep possession. And then back to Morton.
Weston-super-Mare are 13th in the league, and Bar City are 10th.
Enjoying plenty of early possession here as
A win
Morton has it again in the centre of the pitch.
The Westerns would move them up the 10th above Bar City
on the
today.
left. He's well tackled though by Ash Harper, and Bristol City only can look to bring it away for playing it inside to Jacob Kane.
Yeah, we've got Stern on the left-hand side and Smith operating more on the right-hand side now.
Yeah, it does look like Bar City going to go two up top with Jarvis and Semenyo as Smith
Americ
eases
Lampard has joined Man City for £57 million from Atletico Madrid.
Roll through to Luke Pennell in the Weston-super-Mare goal.
I think it's Aubameyang's arse move hangs on Giroud.
I think there's an announcement we were here last few seasons ago.
I think moving to Chelsea now. Why are Chelsea going to sign Giroud? I really don't know.
The following season.
And Tottenham agree a 25 million fee for Paris Saint-Germain winger Lucas Moura, and Stoke has set aside a £50 midfielder from Galatasaray.
On the right-hand side, first touch.
I think it's Badu.
Anthony Straker dispossesses him and can now
just call him Badu. I can't pronounce the last name.
Over the halfway line.
And West Ham want to sign Everton midfielder Morgan Snidling on loan.
Stopped going out of play for a corner by Diallo,
and we got two people in.
Though in fact he has
two is better than none.
Behind for a Bar City corner, and having done well originally, Diallo, that was a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, he's trying to play it there. We've got quite a few Bar City fans behind the goal at that end City are attacking into, but not the usual contingent. I think a few people have been put off a number of times they've travelled here and the game's not been played. So perhaps they're preferring to listen to us to be here, some of them, knowing that they won't have a wasted journey. But
Swansea
City fans tonight
and Arsenal will have kicked off, and it's 0-0.
And see a City victory.
Yeah, if you've tuned in, you don't usually, you are very welcome. It's me and Bob bring you coverage from the Woodspring. Austin to take this corner into the middle. It's low and it's actually hit the post and gone wide, but it's hit the near post. I think Pennell always had it covered. It wasn't really the best corner from Stern.
No, it wasn't. That was a bit of a waste, that corner, really.
Pennell takes the goal kick long and quickly. Smith battling away with Tristan Plummer, but the Western man does well, gets back to Kane, and he now plays it to Diallo in the centre of the pitch. He looks to shimmy away from his man, does well. Now out on the right hand side. Ash Harper right back bombing on here. He gets there along with Morton, who gets a touch, goes out of play for a Weston-super-Mare corner, and two corners in quick succession.
Well, both managers have got a similar philosophy here to play good football, attractive football, keeping it on the ground. So the aim should be that we see an entertaining game, and let's see what the result's going to be. Let's hope it's the result that City want.
Danny Greenslade trotting over to take this corner, left-footed, being in swinger from the Weston-super-Mare fullback. Instead, takes it short back to Diallo.
Information
good ball in,
on
well
this ground. Weston-super-Mare moved into the Woodspring Stadium in 2004. Capacity is just under 3,500.
That short corner that was played, and it was a good cross in from
Only,
Diallo,
I
but
think
well headed
there's
clear
only
by
two
Anthony Straker.
stands.
It's good to see him back in the side, not only defensively, but he's great going forward.
Pennell with a long ball forwards, chested down by Plummer. Still with it, the Western number 10. Plays it to Greenstone, who goes back to
the Manchester
Kane.
Derby, Rochdale v Wigan Athletic has been called off.
For Bar City, thrown right down by their left corner flag.
Well, I did see a tiny bit of the game against Western on Boxing Day, and in the snippets I saw, I thought Danny Greenslade was excellent, very strong, and also very good going forward.
Richards hooks ball upfield, one for Stern to battle with Harper in the air. This ball kind of runs off both of them towards Shaquille Hunter on the halfway line. Goes inside to Kane. And similar to Oxford City on the weekend, similar to Bath City themselves, Weston happy to pass it round at the back. Now with Tristan Plummer, he's forced backwards by Welsh Hayes, and we'll go across to Pennell, a man who started over 100 consecutive games for Weston-super-Mare. His long ball forward, well headed clear by Dan Ball, out of play for Weston-super-Mare throw-in, and Seagulls have settled quite quickly here, Bob.
Sorry?
The Seagulls have settled quite quickly.
Yeah, they have done. Yeah, they've done well. I mean, 6 minutes to go nearly. If you're just joining us, it's 0-0 here, but it is Weston at the moment who are having the majority of the possession.
Although Bath City now have a chance with Morton. Plays a nice reversible down the left. Jarvis and Harper battling to get there. The Weston-super-Mare man gets there first. A little bit of a nudge from Jarvis forces him over, and it will be a free kick to the hosts.
Yeah, I mean, that's a typical example of a defender knowing that forwards come in and there's a slight bit of contact and bang, they drop down like they've been shot and they win the free kick. A ploy that wasn't used in the times when I used to play football.
Cheating does happen in the
Vanarama
in the last century, way beyond when. But no, well, if you fell over like that, they think you're, well, I won't say, but you know,
not repeatable.
It wouldn't be very strong physically, really, if you keep falling down. But there you go, it's a different sort of game now. But and there is a lot more chance for forwards to be protected as well. So there's lots of good things in that as well.
One other game in National League South for any of you interested. Poole Town hosting Chippenham Town this evening. Still goalless in that one as well. As Purnell has it for Weston-super-Mare just outside his area. Plays it across.
Okay,
to
welcome back
Jason
to another
Pope.
vid.
Decides to charge forwards up towards the halfway and dicks the ball forward. It's a nice flick round the corner by Lee, and now for Plummer to drive forward. He plays it square, slightly overhits it, and Hunter will chase after it, can't keep it in. Well, he does in fact just keep it in. Ahead of Straker, looks to trick past the Bath City man, but that'll drift behind. Well, Anthony Straker was trying to leave it go out of play, but it's been given as a corner instead of a goal kick, and Bath City under more pressure.
Yeah, if that's a ball by Kane had been just
well,
a slightly better, Hunter would have had a really good chance to shoot from an excellent position, but it was a bit too far forward and a bit too hard. So the ball goes eventually for a corner, and it's a second corner for Weston-super-Mare. And with nearly 8 minutes gone, you have to say that it's the home side that applying most of the pressure. And they look very, very lively indeed, playing the ball
really
around.
going at Bath City.
Very, very well.
Greenstade swings it in. Another good ball in. It bounces off the near, still in the area, and then Batten blocks the follow-up shot, and Southwood will just about keep it in place. Shot came in from Aaron Parsons. Bath City didn't deal with the first ball very well there, Bob.
No, and at the moment,
Weston-super-Mare didn't really attack the ball there.
No real efforts on target yet, but a lot of good play by Weston-super-Mare. Nice flicks, and they're working very, very hard. You know, we know that they are a very, very tight
this
side.
As a Q&A, so you've got any questions, just
well.
bang them in the comment section.
Annual battle near the bottom of the table. They're looking at the other end this year, which they have done a couple of times before, but it's been mostly the other end, the wrong end of the table.
So we do keep it real on here tomorrow.
At the moment,
they're just 3 points behind
Tottenham
with 2 games in hand.
Manchester
United. It's an important fixture for both sides.
Therefore tonight, let's do some non-league football.
Somerset Bragging right says Semenyo knocks Greenstade off it, and almost a man's relief to get a free kick, because otherwise Semenyo would have been in on goal. Yeah,
of course they had that FA Trophy game, didn't they, against Workington, so that was a Saturday they lost for a game, and also they've had the game against Chelmsford off, and obviously they're playing a catch up tonight with this game.
As it's now with Aaron Parsons.
This game originally was meant to be on
Straker underneath it, but it's poor headed by the Bath City
off.
captain, straight to Tristan Plummer, and now Weston work it out to Greenstade on the left hand side. Decides to play it short to Plummer. Back now to the Western left back. Now into the feet of Hill. He goes back to the captain Jacob Kane, who looks to spread it out to the left, but Roston intercepts and now break forward. He plays it down for Tom Smith on the Bath City right. If he can keep it in, it's a good ball. Can I think just about keep it in? He can't. The flag's gone up, slightly out of view of us, but I can see the linesman's flag up in the air. Tom Smith having words with him, so he doesn't agree with the decision.
Yeah, nearly a very good ball, but you don't get anything for nearly. It was, and at the end of the day, it just went out for a throw. But a chance for Bath City to break, and sadly, it came to nothing.
Shows that Bath City could potentially be dangerous on the counter-attack, though, if they can get that ball right.
Yep.
It's now another long ball on this occasion by Purnell. Welsh Hayes tracking back.
There
Lee's going to put him under pressure, and Welsh Hayes has to clear his lines for a throw-in, and It's a very clever long ball by the Weston-super-Mare keeper.
Yeah, good distribution, sets the home side on the attack, and they've got the throw in just by the corner flag now. No goals at the moment here or at Poole versus Chippenham.
Man who was part of arguably the most famous ever commentary on Bath City Internet Radio with Tyler Harvey's halfway line screamer, but it is now Weston on the attack with Plummer. He's off to Greenslade to cross-ins to the far post. Hunter
We
takes
have
a
our
touch and will
first
then
goal
shoot
of
into
the
the back
night.
of the net. Shaquille Hunter, the former Bath City man, gives Weston-super-Mare the lead in the 11th minute. Granny Greenslade with the assist, and you have to say it's a goal made and finished in Bath City, but it's not counted from this evening.
Two ex-players, though, well worked down the left-hand side. Greenslade,
poor defending
very
there
good
from Bath
first-time
City,
cross,
that's for sure.
goes over the City defence, and there's Shaquille Hunter, who drills it in, probably about 10 yards from goal, but just slightly to the right and in the penalty area, and
he
gave Luke
cursed Bath
Southwood
City
no
after
chance.
11
and,
minutes.
probably the home side deserved that. They played well, but really the City's defence were found wanting big time on that one, because Shaquille Hunter wasn't marked. It was a good strike, but he had no opposition anywhere near him,
mark
really.
your strikers.
And, he had
Poor
time,
defending.
accuracy to whack it home.
Yeah, Hunter with way too much space for the finish. And you have to say Greenslade.
There's been a goal in Scotland. Celtic 1, Hearts 0.
Look at how the video later on and be thinking,
That's
well,
Edora grabs an early opener, and you've also had a goal at Blackburn 1, Walsall 0, Luton Town 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1.
Now they're going to have to come from behind, whereas the last
All the other scores are 0-0 with Liverpool kicking off in 2 minutes.
That's reverse thing, and that's what happened here last season. They were 1-0 down, so we can have a repeat of that. They've got to now go on the attack, which is probably a good thing in some ways.
And of course, it all came originally from that long Purnell ball that Miles Walsh-Hayes was forced to put out for a throw in deep in his own half, and it does show the advantage. If you can get the long ball right, then it can pay dividends.
Yep, most definitely. And let's say from that moment onwards, no City player touched it until Luther Southwood took it out the back of the net. So 1-0 to the home side. Not the biggest of crowds here for a local derby, but we know some of the reasons for that.
It's a poor touch by Tom Smith, out for a throw into Weston-super-Mare, and
the goal scorer was Shaquille Hunter, the former Bath City player.
That slight change of formation, don't know if that's thrown them off their stride, or though they are perennial slow starters, as Plummer tries to twist his way away. Morton gets a foot in, goes out of play for a Weston throw. Some of the Bath players were appealing for it, but Weston get on with it. With thrown
capacity is
Hill. He gives it away
3,500 and 2,000 is covered, and there's a 300
lays it off to Morton.
150 seats, not the biggest ground
gets that
in
to
the league.
Hayes, no, down the right for Smith. Greenslade gets a foot in. Walsh-Hayes will take the throw in about 25 yards out on the Bath City right into Semenyo, but it's not the best of throw-ins and he can't control it, although then it's run out of play by Jake Lee.
It's part of the ground down there. We can't really see what's going on. We're very, very low, and we're well into the half that Bath City are defending at the moment.
Walsh-Hayes with the throw. Jarvis now with it. Banks around in the western area. It's finally cleared up field. Dan Ball will get there first though, and his ball finds Ross Stern on the left-hand side. He twists inside, plays a reverse ball for Jarvis down the channel, and he shoots from a tight angle over the crossbar. But Bath City's first attempt this evening.
Yeah, first attempt on in the 15th minute, and it was a strong shot from Jarvis, but it was probably about 18 inches over the bar, and Luke Purnell in the home goal wasn't really troubled. But a little bit of pressure from Bath City responding after going 1-0 down to a goal from their ex-player Shaquille Hunter on 11 minutes.
Yeah, goal which I'm sure he enjoyed. And of course never played under Jerry Gill. Him and Gary Harris had an interesting relationship, I think it'd be fair to say.
I think, yeah, that's true. He's a player that has got some ability, but has never really fulfilled that potential that he had with various issues, because he's been around a few clubs, given one chance, two chances, etc. I mean, you hope that eventually he does settle down and make a career of football and get settled somewhere.
Batten played it to Walsh-Hayes, but not the best of balls. Fullback can't keep it in play. Here's out of play for a Weston-super-Mare
Second on the start of this Queen 2013 at Bristol Rovers.
City not looking like at the moment like a team that are going to be in the
also was at Bristol City in 2015.
Very much on the back foot at the moment.
28 appearances from 2016 to 2017 for Bath City, scoring 4 goals.
Now ball with Kane. Tries to find
22 born in Birmingham.
Intercepts and then plays a square ball to Richards on the halfway line. Rolls it out to Centurion Stern on the left, making his 100th Bath City appearance this evening, Ross Stern. But he's crowded out by 2 Western players. Harper gets it off him, and then his clearance deflects off Stern behind for a goal kick, and that was excellent defending by the youngster.
Yeah, very good, and you know, it's the same thing that happens sometimes near a corner flag. The forward loses possession, the defender gets it and decides to whack it onto the forward, and it goes off for a goal kick. And yeah, good defending there from the home player.
Of course, if it doesn't quite go to plan, you look a little bit silly, but when it comes off, all's well.
Yeah, but you know, they tend to know what they're doing, don't they? Well, if they don't hit it, they clear it, don't they? So hit the player, they tend to clear it. But yeah, so no goals at Paul Chipman, but sadly 1 goal here, and it's for Weston-super-Mare for City fans listening.
Harper, who's on loan from Bristol City, as of course Man City have some in their ranks. The 19-year-old extended his loan earlier this month at the Seagulls, as Straker's ball forward is put out of play by Naby Diallo just in front of the home dugout. Richards thinks about taking it quickly, but instead decides to leave it for his captain Straker. Straker making his 4th appearance back from injury this evening. His throw-in finds its way back to Matt Richards. Jarvis is nudged off it, but Semenyo battling away, and now ball flicked over, but that's way too close to Luke Pennell. Poor cross in there by Ross Stern.
I think Bath City need to get a bit stuck into this game.
Southampton thinks about coming for it. Batten has to deal with it with Gethill behind him, but he does well. Some appeals for offside.
So all
doesn't really matter whether it is
Bath
or not.
City are being totally dominated away to Weston-super-Mare at the moment.
To be honest, Bob.
No, but Pennell's kicking is certainly an attribute.
Few more goals in League 2, Coventry 1, Cambridge United 0, Lincoln City 1, Newport County 0, and Yeovil Town have taken the lead at home to Grimsby Town. A little bit easier than playing Man United.
Ball by Pennell. This one, loose ball's picked up by Jake Lee. Goes back to Kane, now across to Greenstade on the left-hand side. Man who set up that opening Weston-super-Mare goal. He drives forward, but Tom Smith gets a foot in. Now Richards looks at Bath City on their way. It's a long ball, one for Jarvis to chase.
Can he get there?
Pope goes back, does really well to get it back to Pennell, and then he just about gets it away in time. He's closed down by Semenyo and finds Plummer as well with another great kick. Plummer does well to get it back to Kane just inside his own half. Now the Western captain decides to play it short to Diallo. It's now out to the right hand side to Harper. Flicks it over the top. Diallo trying to chase after it. Down ball's clearance smashes into Straker. Out of play for a Weston-super-Mare throw in, and home side still making all the run here. Hunter looks like he's tripped by Richards, but
not
keeps his foot in.
At the moment for
now
Bath
once again
City.
to Kane, who's pulling all the strings in the centre of the pitch. He flicks the ball forward. Down ball gets a touch in, but Plummer will pick up the loose ball. Looks to shimmy inside and then plays a nice ball to Hunter on the right hand side. And goal scorer looks to take on Straker. Tries a second time, still with the Western wide man, although he loses out on this occasion, and Straker can clear up towards the halfway line, but it's comfortable for Parsons. Semenyo does well, battling back, gets tripped and wins his side a free kick that will finally let them possibly enjoy some possession, although so to take it quickly out to Stern on the left hand side. Thinks about taking on Harper, instead goes back, lays it back to Straker. Now forward to James Morton. Nice flick back to Stewart's great slide and challenge by Harper, but Morton will pick up the loose ball. Battle of 2 Bristol City loanies. Morton still with it. He's closed down by Kane on this occasion. Then tries to play the ball back to Straker. Does deflect off the Western man. Out of play for a Bath City throw-in.
Yeah, a little bit of a possession now for Bath City, which they definitely need to just to break the rhythm of the Weston-super-Mare side, who have been very much on top.
20 minutes gone. Weston-super-Mare 1, Bath City 0. For anyone just joining us on Bath City Internet Radio, Michael Powell and Bob Chester with you this evening as Weston-super-Mare get possession back again. Kane The lovely step away from Straker. He's then nudged over by the Bath City man from behind. And the referee's going to have a word with the Bath City captain here.
That's going to be a foul.
Yeah, Kane's a player that's always impressed me for Weston, and when I've seen them, and he's living up to expectations again tonight with a very, very good display so far in midfield.
Of course, no Dale Grubb anymore. They seem to be fearing quite right without him.
Don't seem to be missing him at the moment, the way they're playing, but he was obviously an exceptional player for them. And when they had Bradley Ash as well, didn't they? Went to Barnsley, and they certainly produced one or two of them here.
It's going to be a long ball forward by Parsons out towards the left. Greenstage can't keep that in as it's overhit. And Bath City, for probably the first time this evening, in a gifted possession by Weston-super-Mare.
Yeah, they haven't given the ball away too often.
Well, Shays takes a throw in up towards halfway line. Greenslade beats Jarvis in the air though.
Another goal gone in, Stevenage nil, Swindon Town 1.
Does well, he's closed down. Semenyo's closed the keeper down. He's got really lucky there, Purnell. Semenyo did nick the ball off him temporarily. He managed to re-tackle the striker as there's a clash of heads here, but Lee will pick up the loose ball. 25 yards out, lays it across to Hunt, although he's sold short, and Straker steps in and can look to break away here.
Yeah, Semenyo nearly got it off Purnell, and he was a lucky lad there.
Harper again plays the ball off Stern. This time he gets the rebound back, and Purnell decides to clear first time on this occasion up towards the halfway line. Now it's ball getting a foot in as he presses Kane high up, and Bath City with some more pressing. That's having a little bit more joy here.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do, because if you press these players, they make mistakes, and what Bath City are giving them time, and they're giving them space to play the game that they want to play. And it's important that, you know, like what Oxford City did to Bath on Saturday. They didn't give them any time, any space, high pressing all the time, working hard, and that's what Bath City need to do. That's the only way they'll break their rhythm.
Pope takes a free kick quickly, but too quickly for Gethin Hill, and rolls through to Luke Southwood. Looks like
Fernando Loriente could join Chelsea if they make a significant profit on the 40 million they paid Swansea.
The loose ball will find its way to Welsh Hayes.
With the Spaniard in September,
Harper's misjudged that one. Stern will keep it in on the left for Bath City. He looks to cross in, which he does. Jarvis takes a touch, still with him on the edge of the 18-yard box. Tackled by Diallo, coming back, and then goes down as the striker puts a little bit of an arm round him, and it was a little bit needless from Jarvis because the loose ball might have been running to Semenyo.
Yeah, Neymar might be joining Real Madrid in the summer.
He had it under some control, and there was that little pull, and referee rightly blew for a free kick to the home side.
Quarter of the way through this game, Shaquille Hunter strike still separating these two sides in this rearranged fixture.
Man City would offer Chelsea 200 mil for Eddie Hazard. That would be a world record transfer.
Underneath it, slices it out of play, and we said they do like to pass it around nice, and they certainly do, Weston-super-Mare, but they're not afraid of pumping it long either and trying to pick up the loose second ball and just gaining that sort of 50 or 60 yards.
No, you've got to vary it.
Can could join Juventus in
otherwise
the summer.
Become predictable, and you know, sometimes the quick long ball will catch people out. But yeah, they're as usual. I've always been impressed with their standard of play, and this season they seem to be getting it right with results as well.
And with Lee, Plummer,
so Man City have signed Jack Harrison from New York for a fee of about $4 million, and then he's going to go on loan to Middlesbrough.
Artis is being missed at the moment, that bite in midfield.
Here is Hunter central on this occasion. Beautiful ball to the right hand side. Here's Diallo with a chance shot. Good save by Luke Southwood. Hunter on the follow up down ball. Closed him down, and there's appeals for a penalty, but the Western man slices it out of play.
Yeah, again, they created a good chance.
That doesn't sound like a penalty.
Naby Diallo brought a fine save from Luke Southwood there, and the result.
Only boss Sean Dyche has made a bid for Nottingham Forest centre half Joe Worrell.
But again,
21.
The home side putting on a bit of pressure.
Worth up to
Dan
10
Ball did well
million.
to close Diallo down on the follow-up. They did need to save him, getting a full stop and getting a free shot away.
If anybody's interested, we have got a few other scores. Crystal Palace are winning 1-0 at Everton, but probably not interested.
At West Ham.
At West Ham, rather. Sorry, West Ham.
It is dark here, in fairness.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah. Sorry.
I'm more interested in the Liverpool score, if I'm honest. That's why I've got those ones up.
Yeah, well, I think Salah's my captain in Football Fantasy League.
So you're interested in it as well, then?
Well, I'm third out of about 20 odd in our lot, so I want to make sure I get a Champions League place. I finished second last season, but can never get top spot. But third at the
now,
moment. So,
yeah, it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace, and Christian Benteke's actually scored the goal. How poor West Ham to let him score.
Anyway, it's with James Morton
So Chris
here at the
Benteke has
Woodspring.
not
More
exactly
interesting what
been a
goes on here,
great
really.
signing for
I'd
Crystal
forego all my
Palace.
points in that for a victory here.
Southwood slightly
So
slices
goes from bad to
ball
worse
out
for
on the
West Ham.
right-hand
Of
side.
course,
Smith
were
can't
knocked
keep
out
it
in
in,
the FA
and
Cup by Wigan Athletic.
Tom Smith had no joy in his new position on the right-hand side yet this evening. We've got some people stood up in front of us, so we've got no idea what's going on at the moment. Ball is certainly in play and with Weston-super-Mare, and now it's
Slatton
forward
is nearing a move to LA Galaxy.
Plummer.
Looks like
Looked
his
at
Man
skip
United
inside
career is
Richards.
over.
Plays the ball down the right. Straker does well to intercept it.
So Arsenal
look
will
to
allow forward
Get away, plays 1-2 with
Olivia
Richards.
Giroud to
Back
move
to
the
the centre
Chelsea
midfield man.
if their
Slightly
Premiership
overhit. Richards
rivals
goes
meet the
sliding in.
30
Strong
million
challenge with Kane. Nothing wrong with it, but the
French
Western man comes away
international
with the ball.
35 million
Skip his way
asking
away and,
price.
well,
He's
gets the
not
ball
worth
back. And lucky
35
deflection off
million.
Straker, and now again with Kane. He plays a 1-2 with Diallo. Out now to the right-hand side to Lee. Kane, bomb not looking to get the down ball. Does well, we'll see it out for a goal kick. But once again, that attack was all about Jacob Kane. Had about 5 different parts of it when he had the ball.
Yeah, and with 26.5 minutes gone, City really have not been in this game much. They one shot from that Jarvis just over the bar, but it has been the home side dominating
When
possession,
he leans over the moment,
dominating
he's
play,
booted
and,
the ball
at
out of the
moment, City
ground.
just not performing particularly well. Very frustrated. Be frustrating for Jerry Gill, but I'd like a bit of commentator's curse now. City equalise.
Steering with a cross in towards the back post. It's
Goal in the
well
Championship.
defended by Greenslade.
Reading
That'll
are
get a
1-0 up
City's second
against
corner of
Burton
the game.
Albany.
Maybe a chance to try and put some pressure on that Western back line, which they haven't done in this opening 27
In
minutes.
the National
No,
League,
we
it's
can get back in this game.
1-0 to Leighton Orient at the
Re-energise
Shea.
them, and that's
Leighton
what they
Orient
need, and,
not been
so
too
if
well
we
of like
score
they could do with those
we can get
3
some
points.
Jack Band's gone up, so a bit of height up there. No Kevin Amanka, of course, he's still injured. He's probably out for another 2.5 weeks, I'd imagine, with his hamstring strain. It's a grade 1 strain, which is the worst, I believe.
So Stern to take this corner. Here it comes in. Pinnell's looking at it. It's way too close to the keeper. Too much here. It's a poor corner.
Catching practice
by
for a
Ross
keeper,
Stern.
that is. That was pluck those out the air all day.
And he bowls the ball out to Greenslade on the Western left. Plays ball into Diallo in the centre of the pitch. Now skips away. Now ball through. Looking for Hunter. Hunter. He's cut inside Welsh's. Cuts back. Slips over at the vital moment. There's appeals for a penalty. He simply lost his footing, and that's a massive, massive let off for Bar City.
Yeah, he genuinely lost it. When he was looking
Scored
for
and made
penalties, he was
it
probably falling
2-0
over. He
there.
genuinely lost his
Bit of
footing.
a
Hard to
poor
tell,
miss.
but he didn't complain or anything. So
He didn't appeal. So
No,
I think
no,
it was, when I
exactly.
say it was appeals, it was the fans who were appealing.
Yeah, but no, I think it is the surface. You know, we've had a bit of drizzle down it. It's quite wet, and as he twisted and turned, he lost his footing, which is a good job for Bath City, because he would have got a good shot on target, I'm sure, and he'd have been odds on to score, I think.
So it remains 1-0 to Weston-super-Mare here as Diallo looks to spread it out to the right hand side. I was thinking just for that chance, I was going to say Bath City haven't been in this game, but Weston haven't created too many opportunities.
No, they haven't. They've scored the goal. Luke Southman's made a very good save from Naby Diallo. They've had a shot off target. No, they haven't created too much, but they look threatening all the time.
You certainly feel like there's chances coming.
Yeah, which Bath City at the moment don't.
So here's now Diallo again, no
Yeah, but
pressure on the ball.
Bath City
Greenslade
haven't
is closed
created
down by Tom
anything.
Smith, and that forces him backwards to Naby Diallo once again. And now into passer stepping up, ball down the left hand side. Greenslade will get the first chance. Crosses low behind Batten, and there's another chance. That's a great block by Ball. Second chance, this time it is in by Jake Lee. Dan Ball did incredibly well to stop the first. He couldn't do anything about the second, nor could Luke Southwood, and Weston-super-Mare deservedly double their lead.
Yeah, it was Jake Lee putting away. First one was blocked, and
now
it
his
was a
game
great
had been postponed
lovely ball for
again.
Danny Greenslade on the left-hand side, and his
Not going well
excellent
for
cross
Bath
found
City.
Lee. His first shot was
Weston-super-Mare,
blocked by Dan Ball, but
they
then
took their chance.
he followed
Slack
up and
defending
gave
that
Luke
from
Southwood
Bath City.
No chance. So on the 30th minute, City find themselves 2-0 down, and they've now got a mountain to climb. And yep, it's we said we might have been a bit down and a bit grumpy like on Saturday. Well, that's because we care so much, but this is not going to raise our spirits and our mood too much. We'll quite keep as cheerful as possible, but we want our City to get back in this game ASAP.
We'll need to score a goal.
Indeed, there's somebody asking on
And
match
Celtic
chat.
are now 2-0 up
Weir is
against
confident.
Hearts
He's
Midlothian.
injured this evening, a head injury, so not in the squad, unfortunately. As Bar City could do with an instant reply here. Straker down left-hand side. Tries to cut inside, then crosses. A good cross. Jarvis with the header. Goes behind for a Weston-super-Mare goal kick, but probably about the closest Bar City have come.
Yeah, another shot. Just two efforts from Jarvis, but I'd say the only player I'd say was playing
header that goes
level
wide is as good as he gets from Bath City at the moment.
He's had a lot of the ball. He's defended well. He's pushed forward well. He's playing at the top of his game, but there's so many City players there who are probably performing on fives.
Although arguably at fault for the first goal when there was no near Shaquille Hunter.
That could be said, yes. But I think there was other players involved that could be part of it. But it's at the moment it is the home side that you said just before the goal that a bit of a foul there. Was it on Naby Diallo?
Yeah, Semenya's gone in quite hard.
Yeah,
it's coming on. There's a few people gathering around and some shouts from the crowd alongside us, and
books out.
Yellow card is out, but maybe it might take something like just a 5 Bar City
card.
Yeah, in his books, Semenya.
Maybe and he's okay. That's a bit over the top on that occasion when you're obviously catching someone like that. But he has been the one. He put Pinnell under a lot of pressure when the keeper's lucky to go with it. He has been the one closing down and trying to force an error out to these Western players, hasn't he? Where, as you said, a lot of the Bar City players have been sitting off, and Western have had it all too easily and all too much to themselves. Yeah,
I say there's too many players out there at this moment that won't be happy with their own performances and as a team, and hopefully, if they can get a goal before half time and it's back to 2-1, then there's everything to play for.
They need to get a goal before half time. No good going in.
Too rosy at the moment.
Half time 2-0 down.
30 minutes, but still an hour of play to go, and there's some options on the bench, and you either I don't think about damage limitation yet, but you got to get some forwards up there. You've got to start putting some pressure on the home defence, and you can only do that by some really attacking play.
Bar City win the ball back from the free kick, and now Morton looks to spray it down the left for Jarvis. Well defended, but Semenya picks up the loose ball here. He's going to go for a long strike, and Pinnell tips it around the post for a corner kick, and Antoine Semenya growing into this game.
Yeah, I think possibly that was going wide. He just made sure got a finger to it, but we'll put it as a shot on target. And yeah, it was a good,
first one of the evening for Bar City.
Strong left-footed shot, and City get a corner. City winning 3-2 on corners, but games aren't decided on corners.
First two were poor deliveries by Roston, so Matt Richards is going to take over corner duties instead for this one. He steps up, swings it into the box, Batson flicks it on at the front post. It deflects off Jarvis behind him and behind for a goal kick.
But that wasn't the best of corners either, was it? Really,
it wasn't at all.
In fairness, so that's most of the 3 corners for City, and they've not been what you call textbook crosses. No.
2 quick goals at Liberty. It's Swansea 1 Arsenal 1. You got any of their players in your fantasy football team?
I got Fabianski because Spurs keeper was so injured, so I stuck him in. So
1-0 to the Arsenal at the Liberty Stadium. And the goal scorer is Monreal after 33
I don't know. It's going to be one of them nights,
minutes.
They say.
So that will put Arsenal 2 points behind Tottenham.
Nudges Tristan
and
Plummer.
Swansea go back to the bottom of the Premier League, level on points with West Bromwich Albion.
Than they were in the first half hour at Oxford City, but Bar City committed 6 of them and Western only 1.
Tristan Plummer will take this free kick.
And Birmingham City are 1-0 up against
in fact, he's now
desperate Sunderland.
Who said you're impressed by what you saw of him at Twitter Park.
Davies after 28 minutes.
He was good when he was on loan with City.
Sunderland are 23rd.
Batten heads it in front of him. It's now another chance. Southwood, he just about gets enough of the ball.
If Birmingham win,
to skip past him, and then Morton
they won
fires the ball long.
Sunderland, they'll go 2 points clear. At the moment, they won 24 points, but the win moves them up to 20th. It's looking bad for Sunderland.
On the halfway line gets a good header on it, and Smith loses out to.
There's always going to be back-to-back relegations for the Black Cats.
Kicks it out of play with his
I thought Black Cats were meant to bring you good luck. It's brought nothing but bad luck for Sunderland.
In fairness, as a defender, if you sense danger, you've got to get rid of it. But it was a bit of a lack of communication. It probably sums up Bar City's opening 35 minutes, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's not been a performance that to write home about, and
At the moment, it seems that the transfer is stolen between Chelsea and Arsenal over Giroud. I wonder why. Has Conte realised he's useless?
Chat and drink. There's another
I wonder if you wouldn't have Chelsea going to sign Crouching Carroll. I mean, they wouldn't be much used to Chelsea.
He's got his arms outstretched, you know, what's going on, sort of thing.
Well,
and,
I don't know what
that,
exactly is going on at Chelsea. Conte's still the manager. For how long, I don't know.
To give them some chance.
Chelsea are third, 3 points behind Manchester United.
Have come down the Bath City
We all know Man City are in cruise control, top of the Premier League with
Tom Smith
52 with a 52 goal difference. 65 points. They're well in control of that league.
The fullback, and well, it's a little triangle, isn't it? I mean,
and Swansea have equalised straight away. It's now Swansea City 1, Arsenal 1.
How those two work, fullbacks and wingers or wide men.
I think there's Lucas.
And to be fair, I think, you know,
Lucas has scored, so Arsenal unable to keep the lead, so all square at the Liberty Stadium.
Do its job, but in both occasions it didn't, especially with Shakir Hunter, acres of space, and the fact that Lee had 2 bites of the
Coventry City are now 2-0 up against Cambridge United, and it's Lincoln City 1, Newport County 1, who had a fantastic result at home against Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday, and FA Halifax equalised at home against the Orient.
Although defending's not his strong
Orient
point anyway,
definitely not taking the conference by storm, because they're more like storming down it at the moment.
Back and then battle away from it. He's kept in play, but only to the advantage of Bath City on this occasion as Semenyo rolls out to Welsh Hayes on the halfway line. He's forced back to Jack Batten. He's quickly closed down by Jake Lee, the scorer of the second goal. Goes back to Southwood, now across to down ball.
Looks like it's Weston-super-Mare doing all the closing down. Bath City not closing down very well tonight, giving 2 sloppy goals away. When they are attacking, they're not really being posing any threat in front of goal. So far it's been a very easy game for Weston-super-Mare. But it looks like they will be moving above Bath City tonight. They'll be in 10th place
does well on the halfway line to keep Bath City on the front foot
with a goal difference of 7.
Closed down by Kane. That does well, and then plays the ball forward to Richards in the centre circle. It's now out to Welsh Hayes on the Bath City right hand side.
Whitehawk, who are rock bottom of that league without a win, have now won 3 out of their last 5 games, only 1 defeat in 5. So looks like Whitehawk are finally coming alive.
Easy for the home defence.
They've got 40 points, 12 points behind Gloucester City. So there'll be some escape if they do stay up. Of course, top that league is Dartford, 3 points clear of Hamilton and Richmond, 6 points clear of Hemel Hempstead Town, and it's 5 games without defeat, 3 wins and 2 draws, same record for Hamilton and Richmond. I think Dartford will keep it going.
Too much in that, although hook ball forward has too much on it and runs through to Luke Pennell in the Western.
They've got a goal difference of 27,
so gone, and
the best in the league.
With a goal from ex-City player Shakir Hunter and a second goal from Jake Lee.
Pennell still has it. Welsh Hayes forced to step up. Batten drops back but wins the ball forward, and his clearance finds Richards. Now into Morton. He plays it out to Stern on the left. Harper dispossessed him. He's had no change out of the youngster this evening, Ross Stern, on his 100th Bath City appearance.
Mate the goal for Arsenal.
Right forward.
Of course,
what happens, he's giving it away for the Swansea equalise under pressure from Martin.
He's returning and he
Olsen. Oswald gives the ball to Alfie Mawson. Lee slices it through the slam. Lucas, who does the rest of the school's equaliser. It's not good. Muzzy Ozil, who's of course also linked with a transfer to Manchester United.
took it quite well as Semenyo closed him down, knocked it away from the City striker, but he's taking a couple of risks now.
5 minutes to go to half time.
Well, at least Semenyo's putting under real pressure and working hard, and that's what is needed.
Welsh's long ball forward header is one, but Tom Smith picks up the loose ball. Now he lays it across to Morton, 20 yards out. He's going to go for goal, Morton. That's well held by Pennell.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Well, it can't get much worse for Bath City
Liverpool have scored at Huddersfield. If it's Salah, we're both happy. If not, one of us is happy.
Well, yeah.
Well, there you go. Liverpool have taken the lead at Huddersfield Town.
You can find out for us.
Find out for you. That's Emery Chan.
He never scores. Well, he does occasionally.
Emery Chan's the man.
2 or 3 a season.
Anyway,
he's also linked with a move to Juventus in the summer.
No.
So Liverpool want to put their disappointment of being knocked out of the FA Cup at home to
another free kick to
rock bottom West Bromwich Albany.
Somebody's getting a bit irate here.
Matt Richards is
I think
not impressed, should we go with?
There's a lot of frustration out there. I think City a little bit shell-shocked at the moment, and it's vital they don't concede a third before half-time. With 3.5 minutes to go, it'd be nice if City could score, but this looks dangerous, lining up.
Referee has had a word with Matt Richards. There was certainly some colourful language
I don't
involved.
see the third in this free kick.
He's going to go for goal, and Southwood just clutches it out of the air. Good effort.
At least Southwood made a save there.
Certainly got the crowd around.
Yes, this is a local. This is a Somerset derby.
Jarvis, he's eased out of it though by Jason Pope and Parsons in particular. The centre backs for Weston-super-Mare have dealt very well with everything.
Yeah, Pope looks a really good player. You can see that. But you can see that the Western players,
can of the 26 minutes has given Liverpool the lead.
Just a bit off form, some of their players at the moment, which is
moment in fourth place on the 48
they're all working hard, they're all trying their hardest. You can never
at the moment they're absolutely all over Huddersfield.
Straker plays a horrible pass to Southwood, who can just volley it out of play for a Western throw-in as he was being closed down.
It's now Celtic 3, Hearts Midlothian 0.
On the right with the throw-in. Slight miscontrol on that occasion.
Preston North End 1-0 up at Nottingham Forest. Blackburn 2, Walsall 1. Luton Town 0. Gary will top the league. 2-0 down to Wycombe Wanderers in second place. And in the conference it's FC Halifax Town 1, Leighton Orient 2 at Shea.
Morton can scoop it around the corner for Semenyo, just inside the Weston-super-Mare half. Rolls it out to Stewart, who plays it forward for Jarvis. Good movement by Nat Jarvis, out on the left-hand side, 20 yards out. Faced up by Parsons. Good cross in, it's well defended there by Parsons. And then Richards, so it's a slightly heavy touch below. Semenyo will pick up the loose ball, drags his shot wide, but Parsons at least showing something as this first half comes to a close.
Yeah, that was a lot better movement, and Semenyo's about 18 yards out, doesn't quite get his shot right, and that ends up going wide. But a little bit better, yes, and that's what City's got to do: build a bit of confidence and make sure that they can make a game of this. It's not lost yet by any means, with half of a game to go, but they're definitely going to have to raise their game in the second half.
It's an old cliche, but at 2-0, the next goal really does matter.
It does, very much so.
It's now Greenstead bombing down the left-hand side again. He's got Morton for company this time. Midfielder tracks in well, forces Greenstead back. He's got Plummer just inside, who he uses. Now faced up by Smith, and then referee gives a free kick against Tom Smith for holding.
Yeah, he just touched his shirt and pulled it a bit, and the referee was in a perfect position to spot that, and he did.
Weston get on with it quick. It's Greenstead, another dangerous ball in. Batten off his knee, he fires behind for a corner kick, but it was another wicked delivery by Danny Greenslade.
Yep, definitely a quality player now. Got Danny Greenslade, 23 years old at this level, and yeah, he's a bit of a he's been a standout player for them. Made both goals tonight, 2 assists, and dangerous, good defending. He distributes the ball well and crosses it well, finds good positions, and yep.
Did always feel when he was at Bath City he could be susceptible defensively, so maybe Bath City can try and find some joy down his side. But here is a corner to Western. They're on the front foot at the moment, and it's Tristan Plummer to take it. Delivery comes in, it's a great ball in, it's flicked on there by Gethin Hill, goes wide of Luke Southwood's post.
Yep, and another time that they've won the ball in the air. Referee having a word with Tom Smith.
He's getting a booking. I think he must have said something. I'm not sure what, but the referee's words were along the lines of 10, you can't say that.
West Ham have equalised against Crystal Palace, and the goal scorer is Noble from a penalty.
5 minutes.
Second booking of the game, both to Bath City. Both goals of the game have gone to Weston-super-Mare, as we are in injury time at the end of the first half here. Richards gets a push, and that will be a free kick to Bath City. Kane looks pleadingly towards the referee.
And this will be the last chance for City in this half. If they're going to get anything from this half, they need a fine delivery, and they need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. So
it's a free kick from deep. It's only about 5 or 10 yards inside the western half. It's doing
just pretty straight in the box. Best option.
Run up and abort. Will deliver on this occasion towards the western area. It's in towards the far post. Welsh Hayes coming in around the back, can't quite get it back across goal, and it drifts behind for a goal kick.
That wasn't a bad effort.
Came to nothing.
It just off target, but if it had been about 3 feet to the left, it would have probably just crept in under the bar. But it was off target, and that was a good free kick from Ross Stern then. So I'd imagine once this goal kick is taken, the referee will blow his whistle. Let's see if that prediction is correct.
Luke Pennell taking his time to try and make sure that's the case.
Yep.
Didn't actually see the board go up, but I can't imagine it being any more than 2.
Correct.
So 2-0 half time at Weston-super-Mare. Not a good day for Bath City. Brilliant result for Weston-super-Mare. Doesn't seem to be a big crowd there, but it's not been a bad little game down there. And I think the half-time result should be coming through. So 1 game at half-time. Swansea and Arsenal is now half-time. That is 1-0. 5 minutes of injury time at the Palace. Still all the half-time scores not all in yet. And of course Huddersfield and Liverpool kicked off at 8 o'clock, which is still 1-0 to the Liverpool. As I say, tomorrow is going to be a bigger game. We're going to move up the leagues and do Tottenham v Manchester United at Wembley Stadium. Will it be Sanchez to score in his debut for Man United in the Premier League against his arch enemies, or will Harry Kane give us a masterclass tomorrow? That it should be a cracking game. That I can't see that one being a boring 0-0. Fingers crossed as always. We do have the half times are coming through. Should be all half time now. So the full rundown. It's Swansea 1, Arsenal 1. Well, for Arsenal, we're looking for a victory there. Will they get it? Not sure. Swansea, of course, beat Liverpool 1-0 2 weeks ago. In the balance, I'm sure if Arsenal lose, Arsenal Fan TV will be worth watching. And it's West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic are easily winning 3-0 against Hearts. In the Championship, more gloom for Sunderland. Birmingham City 2, Sunderland 0. Birmingham were on 24 points. They now have got, if they win this, they'll be on 27 points, and it looks like double relegation is gonna happen to Sunderland. Burton Albion 0, Reading 1. Burton, fighting above their weight. The lowest crowd, the smallest wages. There's no money at the club. Nigel Clough doing his best to keep them in the Championship. They're bottom, and they're 1-0 down to Reading. Hull City leads Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday, Millwall, Derby all 0-0. Nottingham Forest 0, Preston North End 1, Sheffield United 0, Villa 0. Blackburn Rovers 2, Walsall 1, Rochdale and Wigan has been called off. Coventry 2, Cambridge United 0, Lincoln City 1, Newport County 1, Luton Town 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2, so Luton are back in that game. Stevenage 0, Swindon Town 1, Yeovil Town 1, Grimsby Town 0. No hangover from the Manchester United game. They found a team at their level. FC Halifax 1, Leyton Orient 2, Gateshead 0, Wrexham 0. National League North, Gainsborough Trinity 0, Chorley 0. And I'm sure nobody really could care less about the Scottish League 2 or the Scottish Cup. The Women's Premier North, forget about it. Irish Premiership, no way. Italia Coppa Italia, the Italian Coppa Italia, if I said the right. Atalanta 0, Juventus 1. And there was a game in Argentina. Independent 1, Estadios La Plata 2. And the Portuguese, then he gave me, we care about BFC Porto, I suppose. I can't even pronounce any of these teams. One's got 9 minutes left, he's 3-0. Sparta Prague 2. There's also Aves 0. Can't pronounce them. But that is so far all up to date. So I'm sure Liverpool, I'm sure Tottenham v Man United, I'll have loads of views tomorrow. Should be a cracker. Championship on Friday night. and the documentaries are coming thick and fast here on the Football Channel.
Internet Radio.
Yes, welcome back to the Woodspring Stadium. We're at half-time. It's Weston-super-Mare 2, Bath City 0, and you have to say it's the second best Bath City 0. Outplayed in pretty much all areas in that first half. So Jerry Gill with a big half-time team talk to make. But we've seen Ryan Case stripped and ready, so it looks like he's going to come on at the half-time interval. The exception of bringing him on, what do you think Jerry's been saying to the players?
Well, I'm sure he's given a bit of a rocket, and I'm just hoping for a much, much better performance in the second half. You know, you do look at the squad when you think there's Kevin Amankwa missing, there's Compton missing, there's Andy Watkins missing, and Frankie Artis, which hopefully he'll be on soon as well, because he was delayed and with traffic problems on the M4, and he wasn't here in time when the team sheet was announced, so he's put on the bench, and then he arrived thereafter. But it's just been a very, very disappointing first 45 minutes. And
up to another viewer in the stream. Hello, how are you this evening?
See a vast improvement in the second half.
Half time.
Weston have been excellent. They've played good football. They stroked it around nicely. They've been closing down. They've worked hard, and they've seemed well. They've been rewarded with 2 goals, but both of the goals you could say were excellent crosses from Danny Greenslade, but the City defence was somewhat at sea, and let's just hope they can start to put this right. And they need an early goal and really make a game of this.
Yeah, so Bath City with a big 45 minutes coming up to try and rescue something from this game. Of course, well, just under 12 months ago, and they came over here to the West Coast. They were 1-0 down, turned that around. First time they'd won away from home from a losing position for a few years, and it'll take an even bigger turnaround this afternoon. Who do you expect Ryan Case to be coming on for, Bob? It's tough to know, really, isn't it? It
is tough to know. You can pick quite a few of them. I would think, I'll guess Matt Richards.
Okay, we'll see whether that prediction's right. You've been on good form this evening.
Well,
we've got someone on Match Chat saying sack the manager.
Well,
that's a little bit rash, isn't it?
I mean, it's you know, we're dealing with part-time players, and there's some injuries in the squad, and you know, you think how they played against Concord Rangers, and most of the performances have been good. This is just a game where they just not turned up, and this happens in football, and you know, you can tell from you know, my voice the disappointment in it. There's time to put something right and put on a good second half performance. The next goal will be vital, because if City get it, then we're back in the game. If Weston get it, then that's the end of the game of the contest, I would have thought. But if it stays 2-0, it will be a disappointing result. It doesn't matter how well we play in the second half. But at the moment, I'm wrong with my prediction. Who's coming off? Because Matt Richards is there. So we'll have to see who is not coming on. That is if Ryan Case is definitely coming on. But you said you've seen him stripped off.
Yeah, he's on the pitch.
He's on the pitch. So
Welsh Hayes is missing.
Welsh Hayes is missing. Oh, so he's going to go on at right back. Yeah, he played at right back at Hampton, I remember, when Miles was still at Oxford City, and that's interesting. Now, Miles hasn't had the best of games, but you can say that. I mean, you know, both goals have come down the left-hand side.
I'm going to tell you now, it's Liverpool 2-0 up at Huddersfield.
I must admit, I think Ryan Case's best
That's
position
nearly half time, and the goal scorer is Firmino. 45 minutes and 1 minute of injury time.
But, we should just see what goes on. George Rigg, to me personally, is a better fullback than Ryan Case, but we should just see what goes on. But because I remember Ryan Case at Hampton, he was at that position, and I don't think he had the best of games there. So Firmino scored for Liverpool, I think.
And an assist from Mane. Salah's not doing anything.
It's not my night tonight, is it? Not my night tonight in anything.
Mate, maybe you'll have a better second half, Bob.
Maybe, we shall see. We shall see. Well, and Chippenham are losing 1-0 at Poole. That's the other score in this division from another rearranged game. So, yep, the linesman's got his flag up, so he's showing about the substitution, and we'll see that what happens now. So,
well, it's a light-flight replacement at right back, so that's quite simple to work out. Obviously, players are back in front of us here. Marcel Chase,
see if they can get them goals back.
Plenty of praise since he's been back at the club, but
Bath City to win 3-2 in the second half, or Weston-super-Mare Att to the score line.
It was his best tonight, Miles, but he was had a few people to have company when it comes to that situation.
So it's Gethin Hill standing in the centre circle.
A small contingent of City fans behind the goal, as I think, as not the usual number of City fans making the short journey to Weston.
Ball given away quite early on here, so already a change from the first half. Ryan Case with his first touch from a throw-in decides to play it short to Smith, and he's had a foul throw given against him. So it's
Bath City need to get a goal back very quickly.
Ryan Case.
I'm saying nothing.
Bob's saying nothing, so I will instead. And it's Danny Greenslade who takes it down the left-hand side for Lee. Back to the fullback now. Side to Kane, plays the ball infield. Dan ball stabs it away. Semenyo battling away, does well, gets a flick on. Jarvis tries to get to loose ball. Parsons get ahead of him, but his flick on looks like it's run astray, but is picked up on the far side by. Well, it was Plummer, but the offside flag's up, which is slightly surprising. It looked like he's anywhere near offside. That's what slightly threw me off there, but will be a free kick to Bath City just inside their own half. Luke Southwood's come up to take. He's going to punt this long. Weston holding quite a high line. Southwood drifts it in here, looking for Jarvis. Looks to bring it down. It's a good touch by Jarvis. Then goes down under pressure from Parsons. Will get a free kick. And that 22 yards out, quite a dangerous position.
Yeah, that's Jarvis at his best. I mean, under a difficult situation, he controls the ball really well.
Half time.
He draws
at the
the
John
foul,
Smith Stadium, Huddersfield Town
nil,
0, Liverpool
or
2.
He needs someone close to him to pass the ball, and we've got two players now. It's not Compton and Stern looking for who's going to take the free kick. It looks like Richards or Stern, so we'll see who wins this, because Ross has
you were calling on the weekend. You said it's got to be Ross Stern's chance, and you have to Compton's taken a few. Well, he's got competition from Matt Richards instead tonight.
Yeah, so this
is another one that's very central, isn't it?
It is very central, and we've seen Ross score from this, and we know that Matt Richards has got a good shot as well. So this is a sort of moment when it could turn the game if City can get back in the game with this free kick. What about 25, 28 yards from goal?
Just under that, as it is going to be Stern with it up over the wall, off the underside of the bar. So unlucky. Smith on the loose ball, stabs it in. It's gone in from Tom Smith on the rebound. Ross Stern doesn't mark his 100th appearance with a goal, but Bath City are back in it right at the start of this second half, and this second 45 could now have a completely different complexion to it.
Very entertaining second half now, 2-1.
Ross Stern free kick, one of his crackers, it hits
Bath City have pulled one back.
Sort of the underside of the bar, comes down, and there's a bit of a melee, and Tom Smith, first shot was blocked, but the second shot he managed to bury it past Luke Purnell in the goal. So that is just the sort of start, bit like at Hendon when City were 1-0 down at half-time and got back straight after half-time, and Smith was a scorer then. So
now for the next 45
that's just
minutes.
what City needed. I'll be a lot happier. I'm sure you will, Michael. And
well, we've got a game on now.
We got a game on our hands now, and that's what is definitely needed.
It was. They got the goal in the end, but Ross didn't. So unlucky not to get it himself. It was a magnificent free kick, wasn't it?
It was.
Over the wall and inches from going in.
Well, we know what he can do. He can be a match winner for those, and it was that free kick that he
and Blackburn have made it 3-1 now at home to Walsall.
Perfect start to the second half, and everything now to play for, and hopefully City can be energised by that.
2 goals from Danny Graham and another goal for ex-Gillingham superstar Bradley on 47 minutes.
He set up the goal on Saturday against Oxford City.
So Blackburn at the moment above Shrewsbury.
They'll let Bath City take it off them. Battens clears
1 point and
smashes off a Western man, but will
27, so they're 10. The goal difference is 10 plus better than Shrewsbury.
It'll be interesting to see if there's
Walsall
more
now
substitutions later on in the
3
game,
points
and,
off the relegation zone,
-6.
-6.
mentality, because they're all their own way in that.
They'll be totally dominated by Blackburn.
Might make them a little bit nervous. We'll see whether that's
it may do, but it's up to City to make sure they put the pressure on and make sure that they are in a situation where, see what the referee's doing. He's pulling out a book.
Roston's going to get a
Someone's
book.
gonna get
It was a 50-50
It
ball
was, yeah.
that Stern and Harper both had to go for. Harper did get there first, but you got to feel Roston's a little bit unlucky to
I
get a
think
book
he
for
is,
that.
yeah. I think he is. Well, he hasn't. Matt Richards is having a word, and he is booking Stern. So Stern booked on 50 minutes for a foul. Very unfortunate that. And he's pleading his case, but it's not going to make any difference to the referees. Checking his number.
Not the vocal supporter in front of us going to make any difference.
No. And
it's his favourite player, apparently.
You'll always
it is a Bath City fan, not a Western fan, I'll point out.
Yeah. But right, so that's 3 City bookings now. That's Semenya, Smith, and Stern. All the S's.
Indeed.
So
Straker might join them before the end.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
He's got history.
He can join them. He can join with a goal for Smith.
Okay. Well, and
Smith's the
I don't think
scorer.
Southwood's had any yellow, so that would be a bit more surprising.
It would be, yeah. So, but City need to get back, get the momentum going again, and making sure they get possession and play like they did in the first few minutes of this half.
Tristan Plummer gets a throw-in off Ryan Case down the Weston-super-Mare left-hand side. Green State will come forward to take it. Not as much urgency about the Seagulls play in the second half, understandably, as they're trying to get a little bit of the sting out of any potential Bath City comeback. Plummer's wrestling away with 3 Bath City players. Goals down on the floor and
They'll get too complacent.
It was a long way away from us, I have to say, but it didn't look like there was too much in that.
No, and this, City need to, they're breaking the play up now, Weston, and putting a bit of pressure on City's goal, and it's City who've got to be on the offensive and not give away free kicks like this and put themselves under pressure. So it's 2-1 to City, 2-1 to Weston rather, with City getting a goal back just after half time from Smith.
Plummer whips a dangerous ball in. Jack Batten deals with it well. It's going to fall to Diallo in his area. He then side puts it to Hunter, well blocked by Dan Ball. Loose ball still bouncing around. Back to Diallo, falls down again. He's going to get another. In fact, it's a free kick gone the other way, and well, the referee's got to book him for diving if he's given a free kick, surely.
Well, you'd have thought so, but they don't, do they? That's the thing, particularly in that position. And as I think Dan Ball was saying, well, if it's a free kick, he must have dived.
Staggering. But anyway, Bath City get on with it quickly. Semenyo battling away. Smith will pick up the loose ball, drifts out to the right-hand side, but Semenyo decides to leave it roll out of play for a throw-in. Semenyo, who's done well this evening, certainly put himself about. And now back in play with Tom Smith. Looks to go inside, but the ball given away by Morton. Hunter with a heavy touch, but he actually can't quite get past Straker. The Bath City captain does really well on that occasion, and then looks to dink a ball for Jarvis, but just behind him and through to Luke Pennell.
Bath City playing a lot better in this second half. I'd say football is a game of 2 halves.
Let's hope City can put some more pressure on now and unsettle this Western defence. Interesting, the City have scored in every away game in the league bar 1 at St Albans, so they've kept their record up, so that's something to be cheery about.
It is a very good goal scoring record as well. Case takes a quick throw down the right, flicked on by Semenyo, but well dealt with by Pope on this occasion. Tries to turn away from trouble, goes back to Parsons. Jarvis closes him down, as does Smith on Greenslade.
Lincoln have taken the lead at home against Newport County now. 2-1
driving forward is caught out.
to
The referee will
Lincoln.
play advantage with Hunter way down the left side. He's got 2 free in the middle. He looks to skip past Straker as he went out of play. No, he
Green on
hasn't. Although
51
excellent defender by
minutes.
Batten. Back now to Plummer on the edge of the area, and then takes too long. It's hacked clear by James Morton, and
Now Lincoln
Shaquille Hunter
City with
lifted
that
his
goal
head up. He
are
had
1 point
Gethin Hill
behind
in
Accrington
an ocean of space in the
Stanley.
area.
He did.
And
I was
Newport
wondering whether the
will
referee would
look
go
down
back to
to
that
10th.
sort of collision with Dan Ball and one of the Western players, but he's seen that as accidental and he played on, and so he's forgotten about that.
We saw the good of Shaquille Hunter in that first half with his goal. That was very much the bad.
That's the lot we saw. Quite often we saw that type of thing before, didn't we? Where he would run out of space and not use the ball well.
The ball squirts away to Morton in the centre circle. He'll roll it out to Case, and he plays the ball forward into the feet of Jarvis. He does to Turnwell. Stern wants it on the left. He goes to the left, but to Straker instead, who's further behind. Charging forward the Bath City captain, 20 yards out. He's going to cross it into the box. Jarvis looks to try and bring it down. Is it still with him? Harper then puts it away. It's caught again. There's howls from beyond the goal with the Bath City fans are.
It's another one. Jarvis books.
They're booking for Bath City.
Physio's very close because he's still not got back from the last time Ash Harper was down.
So that's Jarvis books. That's 4 players books.
It's ruined up. I think the yellow card is out. It's ruined the S as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
J instead, and you can hear what the Bath City fans think of that. Jarvis pleaded his innocence.
Well, it's not the sort of thing I've noticed Nat Jarvis do. You know, hold a foot in and everything. I think he was just going for the ball, but referee deems it as a bookable offence. So 55 minutes gone. Weston 2, Bath City 1, and that's the 4th Bath City player booked.
There's some ironic cheers as Ash Harper gets back up from the Bath City.
Yeah, and
that goal.
he seems fine. He seems fine.
There's definitely more Bath City supporters in the ground than are these Weston-super-Mare fans.
Like our former BCR colleague Quentin's over there amongst them.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but there's not as many as you would normally expect. Probably about half of what you'd normally expect.
Yeah. Tuesday night as well, as Straker gives away a corner here. Weston-super-Mare's first of the second half, which once again will be left for Danny Greenslade to go across and take.
And he's been in their players, given 2 assists, have made both of the Western goals in the first half. To Shaquille Hunter after 11 minutes, and to Jake Lee after 30. With Smith getting back, Tom Smith 1 for Bath on 48 minutes.
Parsons has stayed back, but plenty others up for Weston. It's low instead. Morton battling away, and he's going to get a free kick there off Jacob Kane. It was a poor ball on that occasion by Greenslade. Decided to hit it low, and considering as good as delivery was in that first half, a little bit surprising possibly.
Well, it's trying to vary it, but you can vary it from good to bad, can't you?
You can indeed. Southwood pumps this long. Ross Stern backtracking, try and keep it in. Hunter gets a header on it. I think it will drift out of play. It does for a Bath City throw-in, just back inside their own half.
And Burton Albany equalised against Reading.
And then sliding in is Kane to put it out for a throw-in. Stern will leave it for Straker. He plays this quickly. Semenyo has it down the left. Can he keep it in? He can. And then a sliding challenge by Parsons. He thinks it came off the Bath City man. The referee doesn't. Will be a throw-in to the visitors, and a new ball needed. And
this is just a position that when Weston had a throw-in from exactly the same place where they ended up working their first goal. Will Lightning strikes twice from the same place.
And Straker will take this throw, and he plays it to Semenyo, short. Looks to dink it back to him. Bath City enjoying more spell here. Semenyo looks to cut to the byline. Harper goes sliding in, still with Semenyo, fires it across. Hacked behind by Parsons, and Bath City have done more in this opening 12 minutes than they did in the entire first 45.
Yeah, that was excellent play for Semenyo. Really tidy footwork, and create the space to cross the ball, and in a very, very small
really nice
area, and ends up getting the corner.
Corner which Ross Stern will take. Semenyo trying to make a nuisance of himself by Luke Pennell.
Can they score from this
corner?
Stern
swing it in. It's poor really, although the ball deflects at the front post. Case will keep it alive. Back out to Stern, who is onside. This one's a better one towards the back post. Batten with a header. That was a great save by Pennell, and pounces on it at the second attempt.
That was close.
Batten's taking a bit of a blow to the head.
Good save from the keeper.
Good effort from the centre back.
Yeah, Jack Batten's down at the moment. Hopefully he'll be all right. But that was he really went in brave header. Lee Williams is coming on, and yeah, it was a good save from Luke Pennell. That low down to his right, and he clutched it at the second attempt.
Wonder if it might have been awkward landing as much as anything for Jack Batten, but Lee Williams has made his way on to see
it's in the upper part of his body. It's either his shoulder, or I think it may well be his shoulder. No. We don't need another central defender out, and having lost to Kevin Amankwa.
Third time in the second half the train has been on, so we could be in for a late night.
Could be. Won't be as late as Margate though.
Well, that is true.
We're by the seaside, but a lot not by the North Sea.
Different sea.
Yeah, different sea. Yeah.
Batten still
Yes, his shoulder. It's definitely shoulder, right shoulder, and
could be a substitutive of Bath City.
George Rigg is on the bench, so potentially he could come on at right back, shift Case inside. Or
yeah, that's good. That's yeah, that's a very good management. That would be. Yeah, I'd take that. Yes. So, but because that's what would probably happen. But Japan's jogging off now.
Yeah, it looks like he's all right. Swansea have just scored. It might be Lucas Fabianski, Bob.
Oh yeah, well, that's.
Oh dear, bad news for Arsenal.
They're doing well, Swansea. Fair play to them after all the changes they've had.
Patton jogs off to the side. Looks like he'll be okay, and we'll restart with the ball with Purnell.
Let's hope so. And if it's sore after the game, let's hope it's all sorted out for Saturday. And
he's allowed to advance for pinging a long ball down the right-hand side. Smith backtracking with Greenslade, but it goes off the Western man for a throw-in to Bath City. But again, it's an arrowing diagonal ball from the goalkeeper, whose distribution has been fantastic this evening.
Yeah, he's one of the best keepers in this league. He's not a lone player or anything, and he's come through their ranks, and he gets better and better each season. He's still fairly young, I think about 23, something 24.
Ball flicked out to the right. Hunter won't keep it in.
Jay Agwu has made it 2-1 to Swansea City,
down,
so
to Stern on left, he can't quite keep it in there. Ross Stern.
Arsenal looked like they were going to win, and
the hour mark against Weston
fortunately from being 1-0 up, they're now 2-1 down.
Put the home side 1-0 up on 11 minutes, and Jake Lee made it 2-0 on 30 minutes. Tom Smith, following a Ross Stern free kick at the bar, managed to get from the melee, get the ball in the net, and City been far more in this half, and would say we had the better of the opening 15 minutes, not only with their goal but with their play.
Steer, nice ball into Semenyo. Ball bounced on the pitch, he's got it under control. Looks to cross into the far post, but overhits that. Will stay in and go out for a throw-in rather than a goal kick. Owen has found more passes at half-time. I do for asking for some fight. Do you have to say Bath City has certainly shown that in the second half?
Yeah, they're closing things down much. They're working much harder, and I don't know what was up in the first half. They're not the same side in the second half, and
I think Jerry Gill's given them a bit of a rocket at half-time, hasn't he?
Whatever was put in the tea, hopefully it worked. So yeah, I mean they would have, I'm sure, not been had the easiest of half-time talks, and they would have all known that. I mean, players know. I mean, they were so disappointed after on Saturday, the fact that they hadn't won the game. Any of the fans ever think these players really want to do well, and it does affect them far more than probably the average fan realises when they don't perform to what they want to perform and to the level they want to perform and to get the results.
Western want the throw-in. It's not going to go that way. It did sound like it deflected off Semenyo, sounded like a bit of a double touch, but instead it's going to be Bath City's on the halfway line with Ryan Case.
You must have very good hearing. Well, you're not young. You're young, yeah, that's it. But that was radar hearing.
Well, I might have been wrong because the referee was like 2 yards away, couldn't hear it.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, Case nods it down to Morton. Ball forwards intercepted by Kane. Back to Case though. Back and forth both ways at the moment. Western appealing for offside, not given, and Bath City will get it back with Casey. And launches a ball forward up in the air. Matt Richards chasing after it. Him and Diallo both miss it. At the second attempt, he gets it down to Morton and then strides away. He's closed down, gets the ball to Richards. Now out to Stern on the left.
One-on-one with Sunderland 0, and Burton Albany now 1, Reading 2.
Straight into the hands of Purnell.
Yeah, it was a good bit of play, but the angle of the cross was all wrong.
It goes
just easy
from
for
bad
Purnell,
to
but
worse
at least
for
he got the
Sunderland.
position and worked something there, and that's twice that they got down the left hand side.
The goal scorer for Burnham
the quality of the crosses
Gallagher.
has not been what was needed.
The ball looking through here is offside against Geffen Hill as he was looking to get in. Straker
And Birmingham have
really
gone
from
from
left back anyway to
second
sure
bottom. They're now point above the relegation zone, and Sunderland drop another place. It is looking
forward line of Smith, Jarvis, Semenyo and Stern all up on the last defender.
dire now for Sunderland. Double relegation is on the cards.
Plays this long looking for Jarvis. Knocked down for Semenyo. Appeals for handball. There is handball given against, I think, Semenyo. He's very close to it. It's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate bounce that really, but breaks that move down.
Similar to that tactic Weston were implementing this way in the first half. A long ball up to the striker. See if they can force it down or get not a clean header for the defender and pick up the second ball about 35 yards out from goal and Bar City having some joy with that themselves as well. It's with the corner kick, sorry, the free kick that the goal came from.
Yeah, and it's City are closing down
Right,
just the defenders so much
goal.
they want to clear, and making it much harder for Weston to distribute the ball and give them the time and space to play the attractive football they can.
Here, there is Plummer on the Western left-hand side. Looks to cut inside, plays it short to Diallo. Back to Plummer now, who thinks about taking on Case. Looks to go outside him. Goes down under a bit of pressure. And the referee's given a penalty. I can't see where the line is right here. I thought it was outside the box. It's obviously inside. There was a little bit of contact from Ryan Case. It wasn't too much. But Ash Plummer has got the penalty, and Weston-super-Mare a chance to regain the 2-goal advantage.
So Weston-super-Mare can now make it
really. That was just
3-1 from the penalty spot.
Sloppy, and yep. So
and Preston North End are now 2-0 up at the City ground.
I can't see City coming back from what was a very positive second half was going the right way for them. But we need Luke Southwood to do something. Who's taking the?
Gethin Hill is going to take it.
So will Hill make it 3-1 to Bath City?
Hill against Southwood. Steps up, straight down the middle. Luke Southwood dives to his left-hand side. Weston-super-Mare have their 3rd goal in the 66th minute. Weston-super-Mare 3, Bath City 1, and that could be the comeback over.
That could be curtains for Bath City. 3 points in the bag now for Weston-super-Mare.
October, which was their last away defeat in the league, and the 3rd goal then was right in injury time. But,
and on that occasion, it was just me and you on commentary duties.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, do you remember those screaming kids below us?
You haven't got
and the goal scorer for Preston North End was.
They were then very.
Gonna say, Barg Hussein.
Quite authoritative way.
Before you think me and Bob are cursed, I will add that it was also just us two at Eastbourne for the 3.
That moves Preston North End up to 9.
Come on, get another goal, City, and we'll be
3
back to
points
just 1 goal
off
down
the
and all to play for
playoffs.
still, but.
Case with a throw in on the Bar City right. Jarvis batting away, gets a throw in off Danny Greenslade.
Did he get a goal back very quickly now, Bath City, if they're going to get back into this game again?
Morton, back to the throw-in taker.
But all 3 goals City conceded have been in a situation where they were goals that could have easily been prevented. You give a giveaway penalty when the danger isn't that great, and both goals coming down the left-hand side with players either in acres of space or having 2 bites of the cherry.
Case gets a free kick of his own here, about 15 yards out right on the right-hand touchline. The referee's given a lot of soft free kicks this evening, and players haven't learned and are being paid for it.
Stacks of free kicks, I'll top them up later, but
Stern with another free kick. Referee's chasing out to tell.
Of course, with this match is over,
Plummer
we'll
to
have
edge a bit
all
through the
the
back.
results.
Plenty up for Bar City. Stern with it. That's a decent ball in. Purnell punches, falls to Morton on the edge of the area, goes square to Richards, although Smith takes over. His shot is deflected, and narrowly wide from Tom Smith. Took a bit of a deflection.
Shot.
Purnell was stranded and half a yard to the right-hand side, and it would have nestled in his bottom corner.
yeah, I was wondering whether he'd take it first time, Tom Smith, but had a bit of time to control it, move forward a bit, and then hit it, and just inside the post, but a good save for Purnell.
Weston even 2 up here in the shape of Plummer and Hunter, so forces Bar City to leave a few back. Here is Richards with the corner. Batten gets a head on it out to the far side, and Purnell will clutch it on the edge of his areas. Jarvis and Pope had a bit of a tangle in the goal mouth.
Looks like Weston are going to make a sub. I was wondering whether, Morton's not been up to his normal standard, whether Frankie could come on for Morton, add a little bit of bit more zip and bite in midfield perhaps, but
Greenslade goes to ground way too easy. This time the referee decides not to give a free kick. And Bar City can break with Smith on the right-hand side. Up against Plummer. Crossing is low. It's well defended though by Aaron Parsons. Out of play for a throw-in, and that will give Weston-super-Mare an opportunity to make this substitution. It's going to be Shaquille Hunter, scorer of the first Weston-super-Mare goal, who's coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Jared Welsh.
So that's on 69, 70 minutes. So that's their first substitution.
Jared Welsh, who did score in their last home game, the FA Trophy fixture against Wokington. Not yet score a league goal for the club though.
Yeah, that's must have been a long journey for Weston. All that way.
Bath City getting back on with it, although they're under pressure again here. And it's with Plummer. His ball forward deflects out of play. He's looking Wokington. Seems like he's gone up behind Gethin Hill, and Jake Lee's come out to this right hand side where Shaquille Hunter was playing. So slight change up for Weston. Now Hill chases after one down by the corner flag, does well to keep it in. He's forced back by Dan Ball, and then the referee gives a... it's gone out for a goal kick. In fact, I thought he'd given another free kick for a second.
Yeah, he does like to blow his whistle for free kicks, this referee, but and it does break the game up.
It's starting to break up what was quite a free-flowing game.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I mean, Bath City have stopped Weston playing because they worked so much harder, and just apart from that sort of rather daft penalty given away, it would be 2-1 and they'd still be in the shout. So what, 20 minutes to go, they need to get a goal probably the next 5 minutes to really start making a game of this, and you never know, they could still get a point, because Weston are showing one or two cracks, but City cannot concede another, because then that would be curtains.
Yeah, they're certainly not playing as well as they were in the opening 45 minutes.
Well, City haven't allowed them to play as well, have they? That's the one thing.
This is true. When you've got a 2-goal advantage, it doesn't matter though.
Nah, exactly. You can.
Long ball by Pennell. Down ball is underneath it as a header goes back inside towards the Western man, although can't quite control it for Jake Lee, and Bath City can break through Richards. And long ball, keeper calls for headers, doesn't, but Jason Pope covers well. Semenyo closing him down. Harper plays it to Pennell. Jarvis comes across it. Pennell just has to clear under pressure first time, out for Bath City throwing.
We could just do with what we had a repeat of last year with Sean McCloskey scoring down that end, and I don't think we're going to get those jubilant scenes again.
There was a red card proceeding. That might help Bath City as well.
Sorry?
There was a red card proceeding.
There was as well, yeah, that's it.
No. Second year in a row this fixture at the Woodspring has seen a penalty. Last year it was Bath City. This year it's Weston-super-Mare. It's now first touch for substitute Welsh, so he gives it away. Smith thinks about a shot from 30 yards, takes another touch, then shoots. Wide of Luke Pennell's post, and not troubling any Weston keeper. No,
well that was never going to do anything, but he set himself all up wrong, and you're not going to beat a player of Luke Pennell's ability from 30 yards, especially with a shot like that that's not on target.
It's getting more.
Chippenham, and he played Big Concord. There's going to be some really good performances, but it's about consistency, and today or tonight it's just not really happened.
Yeah, Bath City have scored 3 on the road a couple of times recently. Of course, that Chippenham game, also the Eastbourne one we alluded to earlier, so it's not something they're unaccustomed to doing. As Batten gets a free kick just inside his own half. Southwood again orders everyone upfield. Take this long, looking for Jarvis. I think this one's probably a little bit overhit. It bounces off the defence much then. I think Stern picks it up 25 yards from goal. Look to dink it to the far post. Well,
take a shot.
Defended by Pope, but Richards gets it back. Looks to play it out to Straker. He does well to keep that in, Anthony Straker. Falls slightly back, and then ball forward deflects off Jake Lee. City captain looking for someone to take throw into. Goes to Morton, who makes an option for him, and skips away from Welch. Ball forward into the feet of Jarvis, has Stern outside him. Still with the striker though, does lay it off to Stern. Looks to skip inside Lee, who appeals for the throw-in. I'm not really sure why. It's Bath City's way, and they get on with it with Straker. He cuts inside, looks to jink away from Diallo. Still going Straker, Diallo then gets a foot in. Lee appeals for it again, gets more grief from the Bath City fans.
Burton Albany 1, Reading 3.
Weston for a throw-in off Stern, it doesn't, and then Welsh closed him down. He forces him back to Southwood. Stern wants a free kick for a push.
Oh, Yeovil Town 2, Grimsby Town 0.
been allowed to flow for the first time in this second half, but finally Diallo gets his foot in it and just manages
Brown
to
on 71 minutes.
Gives the ball straight to Antoine Semenyo.
But Grimsby was on red cards. They've been winning by 2. Rose and Osborne have been sent off
it's all getting a bit untidy
Grimsby.
and scrappy at the moment. You know,
probably suits Bar City.
Well, two sides that can play really good football, and you know, there's a lot of mistakes, and you know that Ross Stern that down near the corner flag ends up nearly doing a bad back pass to Luke Southwood, who has to hurry to clear.
To Arsenal.
And, at the moment, there's
should
a little
make
bit
Arsenal
of
fan
quality,
TV very interesting
and that's
tonight and tomorrow.
Western want to make it a sub, I think. The board's up there.
Boards up for Tristan Plummer, who's been steering the opposite
It has been said that Giroud deal is stolen at the
Finally,
moment. Will Giroud be joining Chelsea before the deadline?
It must have been at least 20 seconds.
I
the ball
don't
had been
know.
Up and he hadn't moved.
And who's coming on?
Ash Kington.
Oh,
The question is,
Kington, that's
why
another,
would Chelsea want to buy Giroud?
player,
He's
Ashley
not the
Kington.
best striker.
Man who knows about missing a penalty in a Bar City shirt.
Oh, there's lots of them.
2-in-1 game up at Basingstoke a couple of years ago.
That's true. Well, he did.
Hello
he did
to
put
my
one of the rebounds
two
in, so,
listeners. How are you this
He did.
evening? Hope you're having a good one.
I think my first away game for BCIR.
At the moment it's
Yours, was it?
3-1
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Weston-super-Mare.
City victory.
August night, yeah, I think Kevin Nicholson scored, didn't he? That was when those six
one
wins
Doesn't
on the
like a bit
bounce
of
we had.
non-league football.
Anyway, here is this free kick. Stern to take it. It's about 30 yards out. Decides to go for goal, but that's really easy for Pennell straight at
at the
him.
keeper,
And
yeah.
poor choice really from Stern. Although Pennell gives it away to Ryan Case, and Bar City straight back on the front foot. Case, and he decides to go for goal from a tight angle.
I've actually City have had they've had more shots now than Western, but most of the shots have been shots that
Wide.
just gone off target.
You have to say both of those were a little bit of a waste. It was so
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah, I mean Luke Southwood hasn't had that much to do really. He's had nothing to do much in his first half, apart from pick out the ball out the net from the penalty. And City have had a large number of shots, but not really to trouble the keeper. If they have been on target, they've just been straight at him. I mean, there was that good save from Batten, the Batten header from the corner.
Yeah, they've certainly been on top in the second half, Bar City, but still find themselves 2-1 down. Another free
Well,
kick.
there's still
as
plenty of time at
Diallo
the
jumps
moment.
for
Looks
the
like
ball, gets head on it.
Weston-super-Mare have
Moulton
got this.
Stands there, doesn't do anything, but it's a free kick.
And that's a real mystified look. So I've got 14 minutes to go. City 3-1 down, and we need a goal from City to make any chance of picking up a point. And I think many City fans were hoping that they could get 3, but it looks at the moment like Western will be doing the double over Bar City for the first time. I hope I'm wrong.
So Weston-super-Mare for the first time could
Danny
be doing the
Greenside with a
double
chance to put
in
another
the
ball into the
Somerset
box here.
derby in the
From this free kick.
Vanarama South.
About 25 yards out on the Weston-super-Mare right.
So here he comes, ready to take it in. Swing it in, left foot, it'll curl in.
Greenslade does play it in towards the far post. Southwood comes, claims it very well. Looks to set Bar City on their way, gets on with it quickly. Ball deflects off the Western man, and
Weston-super-Mare team then get a
he's going to get a
fourth.
booking, which is incredibly unfortunate.
no,
I
he
think
wa-
it's Ash Kington. He's a couple of yards away. In fact, it's Welsh, sorry, not Kington. And Southwood was trying to kick it long, it deflected off him.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to block the goal
No, he
kick.
wasn't. No, it was no intention. He was just Southwood got the ball and quickly went to kick it, and no, that's right. Well, I just words fail me. That's all I can say. Why that guy's booked?
But it is a yellow card for Jared Welch. And Southwood goes long from the floor this time. Battling away, Jarvis can't win on this occasion, but ball forward finds Dan
Weston-super-Mare,
Ball.
they were formed in
Now it's Case on the right-hand
1948,
side.
70 years
Smith
ago.
slips as he tries to charge after it. Will drift out of play for
The
a
manager
throw-in.
is
So you'd
Paul
book him there for
Bliss.
that'd be ungentlemanly conduct. I would say.
Is that what I should put in the match
I
report?
would think it would be for ungentlemanly conduct. Yeah.
If he gets a second yellow card, it's going to have to go in the report, so I'll have to come up with something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Unfortunate is probably the phrase. Anyway, here's Smith. Ball back in play. Toe in from Kane, but goes out to play for Bath City throw, which they get on with quickly. He's with Straker on the halfway line. Ball to him wasn't the best, and he's forced back to Dan Ball, who skips past Jake Lee, and now out to Straker again, charging into the western half. Uses Stern outside him and cuts back. will deliver in towards the far post, looking for Jarvis. It's a good flick on it there by
So Weston-super-Mare surely risen through the ranks of non-league football.
Yep, so you get another corner. And if you looked at the stats sheet that I could produce this, you'd think that Bath City were on top and the better of it. But
stats
but you look at the goals column and that's what counts.
Of course, Bath City have won the Southern League. They've won the Conference South.
To break.
They were playoff winners.
Kingdon plays it short. Nearly sells Hill short, but he does really well against
Of
Semenyo.
course, their ground tour at the pub was also home to Bristol Rovers for about,
here at the moment for the former City man.
For 10 years.
Then Harper will drive
from
forward
1985 to
1990. Dinks another ball down the line for Harper. Down ball is across the cover. It gets it back to Southwood, who clears first time. Loose ball looks like it's going to fall to Stearns. A hefty challenge between him and Lee. And now it's back out with Jake Lee on the Western right. Morton gets a toe in out for a throw in. And since that penalty, Masters, you haven't really gathered too much momentum of the ball.
No, I mean, it's just not the stuffing out of them after, really playing well up until that point. The first 20 minutes of the half, they got a goal back.
A decent capacity of 8,840
with one. They were playing well, but since that penalty,
and
66 minutes, it's been pretty scrappy in ways. And Western now are beginning to play football again.
They finished ninth.
City not quite closing them down, and they got far more space.
Diallo driving forward and then overhits the ball to Greenslade. Out of play for a Bath City throw. Just 10 minutes to go here. Weston-super-Mare 3, Bath City 1. For anyone just joining us on Bath City Internet Radio, Michael Powell and Bob Chester with you this evening. Southwood's long ball forward flicked on by Jarvis, but it's well defended by Parsons, and then Kingdon can play another ball over the top to force the Bath City defence back.
And the Wycombe Wanderers are now 3-1 up at Kenilworth Road. The Yeovil Town have made it 3-0 at home to Grimsby Town.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't
Grimsby Town had another man sent off.
But there's just been, too many players who have
the goal scorer for Yeovil Town is Jake
You get away with,
Gray.
a couple are not playing their best, but
9 minutes to go.
You'd say it's. I've been impressed with Straker, as I said, Anthony Straker, but
and we have 3 in the stream. Hello, how are you this evening?
Amongst the whole squad really tonight, and you get that sometimes. It's just disappointing it happens to be tonight.
Yeah, in the Somerset derby
tomorrow it is Tottenham and Manchester United from Wembley Stadium. Hopefully we can get a good stream for that.
Hill wins the header. Down ball's clearance goes to Kingdon.
And that should be a good game. Will it be a dream debut for Alexis Sanchez tomorrow night?
To Bath City right down in their left back position.
I remember it was the game after the North Ferriby semi-final. We had to play.
And Lincoln City 3, Newport County 1.
But defensively, I think Phil Walsh was sent off just before half-time, or just after half-time, and there's a penalty as well. And City were 3-2, and they were just dominating the game, and it was some really good football. And I think it was Jamie Lucas who was playing for Western.
Hull City leads down for a 2-2 draw. That is 0-0.
Did put a good performance on that night, but despite it was 4-2.
That's my bet out
and it worked so hard after all the disappointment of North Ferriby. But tonight it's just been one of those games as well.
Morton now the driving run forward out to Stern on the left. He's got 3 Western players around him. Does well to get a throw in. Western just leaving one up front at the moment. Morton has a bit of space though. Square to Richards. Case has made a run outside him on the right hand side. Goes the other way instead to Smith on the edge of the box. And lays it off to Straker. And they've got a bit of a white wall to go through at the moment. Dinking to Smith. Back to Stern. 20 yards out. He's going to go for goal, but again straight up. Pennell in the Western.
That's another on-shot target from 20 yards straight at the keeper that he doesn't even have to move, and that's we've had quite a few of those tonight. And if you look at the space and time that Stern had, you'd hope that he would test the keeper more, and that's happened about 3 or 4 times in this half, where they've been in good shooting positions, but the shot has been fairly tame straight at the keeper.
Yeah, they actually worked the position well there, Bath City, but final product wasn't quite there. As now ball forward looking for Semenyo on the half turn. Parsons decides to just thump the ball long out
Was he trying to get the train that was going by?
Yeah, maybe.
So the win for Yeovil will keep them 5 points clear of the dreaded trapdoor to the National Premier League.
You came here by train, did you?
I did indeed.
How are you getting back?
I'm getting a lift back.
I was going to say, I'll talk to you about that if there's a problem.
As Batten with the ball forward, now with Morton. And ball forward over the top, looking for Semenya, runs out of play now. Michael Clayton, who has done some summarising for us on BCR, has kind of given me a lift back to Bath.
Oh, that's right. We've got 6 minutes to go, and at the moment...
he won't be listening because he's here, but thank you very much, Michael.
That's it, well, I'm Michael. We've missed Mark, if you're listening, we've missed you tonight, and you'll be thinking, I'm glad I didn't come, but...
and there's Darren Allwinder says, up the mangoes.
What's the ref doing? Is he booking one of their players?
Could be booking Green Stage for time wasting, I think.
Weston-super-Mare are nicknamed the Seagulls, and Bath City are nicknamed the Romans.
It's up to 6 yellow cards.
Yeah, that's 85 minutes time wasting.
6 yellow cards now for Bath City.
He must like writing lots of reports.
Here is Batten, ball forward to Case. Doing forward jump, his chest it down well. Then it's quickly closed down, but still has possession. They then loses out. And Western man throws himself on the floor. This time the referee does decide to wave play on. And now it's with Stern on the Bath City left. Cuts inside, ball in. Semenya tries to bring it down. Then
does the referee want to make it 7 Bath City players?
Straker does well to keep it in on the Bath City left. Stern now cuts inside.
Got a chance.
Forced all the way back to Batten. But it does have a bit of space for
they're
Western.
Going backwards, either go forward.
At the moment. Good ball into the feet of Semenya, but Green State defends well. Smith picks up the loose ball though. Back to Batten, and again for the first time Bath City have a bit of space. Diagonal ball which is headed away by Harper, but Richards will pick up the loose ball. Now with Stern. He's cross in towards the far post, as well headed out by Parsons, but Batten flicks it back forward. It's a poor ball by him, and Kane can now drive forward for Weston-super-Mare, although his ball forward is well intercepted by Batten, and maybe a chance for Bath City to break with a couple of Western players upfield. Case plays it down the right for Smith. Can he keep it in? He can keep it in. It's towards Stern. Can't quite get enough on it. And the header basically goes straight behind him. And Jake Lee can now look to break with Diallo outside him. Diallo makes a run ahead of him.
There for
Richards closes down
Bath City, but they didn't do nothing with it.
Just hammer along clearance upfield.
And Sunderland have pulled a goal back at St Andrews, but I think it's going to be too late.
I thought the Western player handled it.
And he did.
Yeah, I just can't believe that the Western player handled the ball and he's given a free kick.
And Preston North End have made it 3 at the City ground. Johnson with a penalty.
Well, it takes the biscuit that one, but anyway, that's...
Luton have pulled a goal back against Wycombe Wanderers, 11 minutes to go in that game.
Ball into the box, but it's been so easy for the defenders to deal with.
Paul Town 2, Chippenham Town 0.
Straker has the ball right down in the left back position, long ball forward. Down ball's beaten to it by Kington, but ball will run through to Luke Southwood.
Anybody's interested, Swansea winning 3-1 now, and Paul have beaten Chippenham 2-0.
It's looking bad
Jarvis,
for Arsenal.
Nice
Arsenal fan TV won't be happy with that scoreline.
After Southwood gets there first really well.
And the goal score for Swansea City was...
Straker now to Morton, and Weston with their 3-1 lead, and now saying...
Kalukas with the second goal to make it 3-1.
We'll take what we've got on this occasion. Batten gets a foot in out for a throw in, and that was more
a bad night for Arsenal.
Really.
Yeah, I see. We've got 3 minutes to go, and I think most people will be saying that the result is well and truly sorted.
Does certainly feel that way.
And Swansea now, with that goal, have moved out of the relegation zone for the first time this season, I think.
Calmly plays the ball out to Parsons, and now with Harper, Western Arts trying to play it out properly on this occasion. Harper drives forward. Semenya, fellow Bristol City youngster, goes with him.
They're all very comfortable on the ball, these Western players. You know, there's I know they've got a couple of loan players from Bristol City as well, as Bath City have, but they are a very, very good footballing side, and they come forward again. No
Diallo, but he gives it away on this occasion. Batten's put it past Southwood. It's rolled into the net. It just about sums Bath City's night up. Luke Southwood was coming out to collect it. Batten went to pass it back. Jimmy puts it back to the keeper. It's Weston-super-Mare 4, Bath City 1.
Game over, 3 points to Weston-super-Mare. The Seagulls are flying.
And that was just crept inside the post, and it's just one of those
Weston-super-Mare be on their way to the Vauxhall National Premier. I don't know if the ground reaches criteria for the next level.
Because it 1 or 2 points, but at the end of the day, it makes no difference whatsoever to the result. And
if you're going to do it, it's a good time.
If you're going to do it, you might as well do it now. If you're
Hearts Midlothian pulled one back against Celtic,
4-1 up
too
or whatever,
late.
because it doesn't matter. Don't make it when it's really, really, really important. And but that just sums up. It's not been City's night tonight, and you know, you feel for Jack Batten, has not done much wrong tonight, but.
Until then.
Now with Smith in the right hand side of the area, cross is blocked. Greenstade will calmly come away, plays it short to Kingdon, cuts back, is under pressure, goes back to Purnell. Richards goes chasing after him. Purnell's ball to the left is poor and away from Greenstade for a throw in. Haven't seen the board go up, can't imagine there's going to be too much added on time.
Well, there have been a few bookings, haven't there? And
I think at 4-1 the referee will probably blow up relatively quickly.
Put us out of our misery. Liverpool now scored a third goal.
Oh, at least one of the results has gone right for me this evening.
Well, I don't know. Only if I get Salah getting some points in my football fantasy team, but at the moment I'm too fed up to care.
Ash Harper will take the throw in. It's going to be a late Western
Liverpool
substitution.
have won today.
Last time we lost 4-1 away was at Dartford, I think.
It's been the saying.
And they're in black and white as well, the Darts.
It's been a while since Bath City have conceded 4.
Yeah.
First time this season.
I'm sure when they meet Dartford again, Dartford should brush
Come on, referee, get this game
Bath
going.
City aside. Dartford are top of the Vanarama Conference South. Should be back in the National Premier League next season.
Christian Scott is going to be coming on for the Western striker.
Yep, that's it. Just prolong the misery, ref, and everybody else. They'll be saying I'm grumpy today if somebody said we better cheer up.
Yeah, Gethin Hill scored his 12th goal of the season this evening. He's 4th in 4 games in the league.
Well, he's obviously on a bit of a purple patch then. He's played well. I mean, whereas most of the Western players, you could say they've had 7s and 8s out of 10s.
The goal scorer was Salah, the Egyptian goal machine, with a penalty on 78
win
minutes.
A game if that's happening.
So a pretty easy win for the Pole.
Long ball upfield is well dealt with once again by Jason Pope. He's commanded his view this evening. The ref gives a free kick. Morton takes a quick to Richard. He's quickly closed down by Kingdon, but shows neat control. Now Straker up over the halfway line for Bath City. He's been urged to close him down by some of the Western players, and instead just gives the ball straight to Kane. He looks to slide it in behind here too. Jake Lee, but the offside flag's gone up. It looked like it might have drifted too early. It was slightly tight, and if he'd held his run, he'd have been in on goal.
Yeah, when you have a bad performance, you give 2 sloppy goals away in the first half, then you give a needless penalty away, then you give an own goal away.
Sums it up.
Sums it up, doesn't it? You're not going to win a game if you do all those things. So if you're going to do them, you do them all in one game, get rid of them.
It's an evening to forget if you're a Bath City fan.
It is, and it's so disappointing after a lot of the good performances we've had just recently. And
it's a game I think Bath City wish was called off a game.
Towards the far post. Greenstade defends that really well. Semenya wins knocked to no, and now Case is going to go for goal. Drives it into the back of the net from Ryan Case. 6th goal in this game. He chased after the ball. It's too little, too late, but he does mark his second half appearance with a goal to his name.
Yep, so that's Case.
There was actually an injury to one of the Bath City players, why there's a bit of injury time.
After the North Ferriby game, it was 4-2.
but the full times are coming
again,
through.
You score a goal when it's 4-1 down, it doesn't mean a lot, does it? You know, like Jack Batten's goal didn't mean a lot. That didn't mean a lot. That's two defenders scoring, one in the right net, one in the wrong net.
First goal since Chelmsford.
He scored a goal. Although Marvin Morgan tried to claim it was his.
We'll finish up by doing all the classified check and all that.
He gave me a program with it all circled.
And one score has come through.
As the full-time whistle does blow here at the Woodspring Stadium. Ryan Case's strike about the last action of the game. We told you there was late drama between these two sides. On this occasion, it didn't really matter, as Weston-super-Mare run out 4-2 winners. Shaquille Hunter and Jamie Lee giving them a 2-goal lead inside half an hour. Tom Smith gave City a lifeline after Ross Stearns' free kick. It ricocheted off the crossbar, but Jake Lee's penalty in the 67th minute all but ended it as a contest. Jack Batten then scored an own goal with just a couple of minutes remaining before that Case strike in injury time. Bob, it's certainly been a disappointing and
well, it wasn't a bad game down in the National League South. I still call it the Conference. Now just waiting for the score lines to come through. A few have come through. So Weston-super-Mare move above Bath City and are looking towards the playoffs, which have changed in the non-league circle. I don't know if they're going to do that for the Football League next season. I think it goes 7-6-5-4. Them four teams will play each other, and the winners then play the teams that finish second and third, and then there's a final, something like that. So Weston-super-Mare are up in 10th, 4 points off Troy City in 7th position, and Bath slipped down to 11th after that absolute hammering, but they stay on naught by scoring that late goal. I think the score should be coming through. Few in 4 minutes, 2 more results have come through. Nice and slow from the BBC website as per usual. I think I'm just waiting on the one. Lincoln and Newport are up to 6 minutes injury time. Of course, the transfer window closes tomorrow. And of course the big one is Arsenal to sign that player from Boris Dortmund. I don't know what's happening there. The deal for Olivier Giroud to move to Chelsea, which I think is an absolutely bizarre why Chelsea are going to sign him. That deal has kind of stalled. They were up to 7 minutes of injury time at Cecil Bank. and it's still 3-0 at Huddersfield with 6 minutes remaining. Just waiting on just waiting on the 2 results. Four minutes of edit time at Kenilworth Road. It looked pretty comfortable at one stage for Wycombe Wanderers. Still playing at Kenilworth Road. Some of the results that haven't gone through. One in the Scottish Cup I don't think anyone really cares about. So we'll have all the scores eventually. Now up to 7 minutes plus injury time at Kenilworth Road. Is there going to be any late drama? Is it such a good game that the referee's trying to just play more time added on? So tomorrow's match will be Tottenham v Manchester United live from Wembley Stadium. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good enough stream for that game. Will Alexis Sanchez score on his debut for Manchester United, or will Harry Kane do the damage? All the scores are in the Premiership. Swansea City 3, Arsenal 1. Arsenal took the lead through Monreal in the first half, but Lucas scored virtually straight away. Then they got a second and Lucas made it 3-1. So bad result for the Arsenal. Brilliant result for Swansea, taking them out of the relegation zone. West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 1. Benteke scores a goal. Noble scores from the penalty. It's Huddersfield 0, Liverpool 3 on 89 minutes. Scottish Premiership, pretty easy one for Celtic. 3, Hearts of Midlothian 1. Championship, Birmingham 3, Sunderland 1. Burton Albany 1, Reading 3. Hull City 0, Leeds 0. Middlesbrough 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Millwall 0, Derby County 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Preston North End 3. Sheffield United 0, Aston Villa 1. League 1. Blackburn Rovers 3, Walsall 1. Rochdale against Wigan Athletic. The Pulse panel says away win. Coventry City 3, Cambridge United 1. Lincoln City 3, Newport County 1. Luton Town v Wycombe Wanderers is a late. 7 minutes of injury time, but it's 3-2 to the Wanderers. Stevenage 0, Swindon Town 1. Yeovil Town 3, Grimsby Town 0. National League FC Halifax 1, Leyton Orient 2. Gateshead 0, Wrexham 0. In the National League North, Gainsborough Trinity 1, Chorley 0. National League South, Poole 2, Chippenham Town 0. And of course, Weston-super-Mare 4, Bath City 2. Scottish League 2 we're going to skip, not even going to bother with the Scottish Cup. Couldn't care less about the women's football or the Irish Premiership. In the Italia Coppa Italia, Atalanta 0, Juventus 1. And I can't really be asked with the Portuguese league. They're still playing that Wycombe Wanderers. And I would say Liverpool have all but won that match. So I'll leave the stream here. I'm going to say watching Arsenal Fan TV should be a classic tonight. A humiliating defeat at the hands of Swansea City, who were rock bottom at the start of play, now in 4th place in the Championship. Aston Villa are now just a few points behind Bristol City. Cardiff City. Just like to confirm that is Cardiff City, not Bristol City. My mistake. So Aston Villa under Steve Bruce look like they could be making their way back to the Premiership. And the score has now finished 2-3 to Wycombe Wanderers. So Wycombe Wanderers are now in 2nd place in League 2. And in League 1, Blackburn comfortably annihilate Walsall to move into 2nd place in League 1 to get themselves a chance of returning back to the Championship. I'm going to leave it there. Well, I'll just put the stream up and you'll see Tottenham Man U. Well, I'll be commentating for the Tottenham Man United game. Should be a classic. Anyway, once again, thank you for all those who came into the stream to enjoy some non-league football. And I'll say good night.